Hello everyone and welcome back to Veluwe Zoo. As usual, we start off with showing the habitat that I built in the previous episode. And yeah, we built this for the lovely Bayard's tape here. And I'm having a little problem, is that my turtles are breeding like rabbits, basically. So I'm gonna prevent that. I'm gonna go to animals and I'm gonna make sure that these guys get like pills so they can't breed anymore. Just make sure that we let's just do it for all of them. I'm not sure if this will cost me any money or something, but it's necessary. And I'm actually having the same problem with these gharials. Which are you and you and you. Good. So these guys take it a little bit slower. See, they only have like 2 babies, so that's good. So in the last 2 episodes, I was recording some cinematics, and there were always people that were walking a little bit funny because they needed a toilet. So I'm gonna add some toilets. I'm just gonna okay. I'm just gonna add them to this building. Okay, how I'm gonna do this? Plaster walls. Just doing it as simple as possible, basically. And delete some rocky rocks. Can I change these colors? I can. Gray with gray and gray. It looks better. Let's do the pathing. No. If you press control, see, now it snaps and now it doesn't. Right, cool. Let's decorate it with some plants. A line. Perfect. See, looks better already. Extend this fence. Like that. Turn it. Copy you. There you go. Now we're gonna do this. Let's try this. Up. Oh, very nice. Perfect. See, lovely little toilets. We have an animal alert. Animals will fight again. You guys know what to do, right? Goodbye. Zoo alert. Research. Yeah, so since we have a lot of troubles with the coronavirus, I really want to research every disease possible. So especially foot and mouth diseases. So let's start on that one. These guys are costing me so much money. Damn. So I'm also still working on this mechanic research because I really want that bigger staff room. So the large staff room. That's what I want. So working on that. Oh, something going horribly wrong. 12 alerts. What's the alert? What's wrong, my friend? Again, stress. So I have no clue why there's so much stress for my flamingos. So it's because of all these people, maybe. I'm sorry that my zoo is so incredibly popular. I'll put more of these down. So this did help with my grizzly bears. So please people, Zamu Parfou. Zamu Parfou. Or how do you pronounce it? Zamau Parfou. I don't know. Just shut up. Oh, maybe I have an idea. Maybe these things will help. Wait. So ambient speakers. These might help. So these speakers are watertight. Let's do birds of the jungle. Yeah, that's cool. Let's put some more down. That one. That one. Cool. So I tried this. So yeah, we have this puff adder challenge from 4 episodes ago. I have been researching it over and over and it's still 1%. So I have no clue what I'm doing. What can I do to improve that? I'm gonna add some speakers. Let's add one here. Right there. About the puff adder. All these people get educated now. So if you have any tips about increasing this education rating, please let me know down in the comments. So as promised in the previous episode, I'm gonna finally finish up this part. So let's start on that build right now. And in this episode we are going to add 3 different animals, which will be the Komodo dragons, Nile monitors and the Aldabra Giant Turtles. I fit this all in one episode because I thought it wouldn't be really interesting to have again 3 different episodes with only one animal with one small habitat, which probably all look the same. I just want to finish up this entire part first. So we are starting with the habitat for the Komodo dragons, and I'm finally using some actual barriers, and I will use them for all 3 of the habitat. So I'm gonna work with these glass barriers. I thought it would look cool. It would have the modern feeling, same as with the reptile house and with the Pygmy Hippo habitat, so it would blend in a little bit better. I decided to put the entrance for the staff in the reptile house itself, otherwise I couldn't find a good spot for the gate. Make sure that this path is a little bit wider and the same as on the other side. And I'm trying to blend in the water with some rocks and with some plants, using the same rock structures and plants all over the place. Because I just want to make it, I don't know, blend in with each other. I'm struggling a bit with this corner with the barriers, and but yeah, we will get there. We will get there. Making sure that the barriers are as low as possible. All these animals won't climb out or anything like that, so that's perfect. I'm finding out that the Komodo dragon doesn't like some of the plants that are in here. I do like the rotten log thing that's in the water, so I keep that one. Because in the end the foliage is like at 99%, so that's fine by me. So the Komodo dragon is already in there, and I'm starting on the shelter for them, and this will be a little bit higher than normally. So the Komodo dragon has to climb up these rocks, and there will be their shelter space, and the guests can still view them. But I do put some plants and some extra trees in front of it to give the animals a little bit more privacy, making sure that they will have multiple places to access their shelter space, and trying to blend it in with terrain and raise the terrain a little bit. These animals can't really climb anything, so I did struggle a bit with the transversable area for these animals. I found some extra trees that need to be removed, so I'm fixing that right now. But yeah, later you will see me struggling a bit with these with this shelter, trying to make sure that the animals can actually enter it. What I also found out is that the animals, somehow the shelter needs are much higher when you try to create a natural shelter like this. There's enough space for them, but still the hard shelter need is like at 40%. But when I put like a structure on it with like 2 roofs, that's it, everything is fine. So that is a bit strange. I'm trying to blend in the water again nicely with some rocks, putting all these smaller rocks in. They do look cool, but I had to remove them again for the transversable area. Somehow when this smaller rock is there, the animals can't pass by anymore. So that's again a little bit strange, but I think the transversable area works. You can see it now that it doesn't work, but the transversable area works, that the animal has to be able to turn around 360 degrees on a certain spot, and if it can't do that, then it's not transversable for it. So yeah, that's why it doesn't work. So again, I'm struggling with that transversable area for this shelter space right now. My animal is escaping, so I have to fix that. Also, I could have cut that out, but I thought it was nice to see that sometimes my animals also escape. So I'm trying to increase the space for them to enter this shelter, and then I finally get it working. They do need a little bit more land instead of water, so I'm fixing that right now. Making sure they can eat and have some places to sleep and have their enrichment items. So increasing the the shelter space a little bit, because yeah, that's what I explained before, that the hard shelter need wasn't enough. So putting some bedding down and some more enrichment items, and the heaters as well. All these animals in this area need heaters, so I could just put them in already before it's starting to get winter, basically. So I'm putting the education signs in, same as I use for the crocodiles. So again, these fences, I still think they look pretty good for this. Yeah, if you they look like they're attached to the barrier. So that's what I want to create. So I'm starting on the next habitat, which will be for the turtles, and I'm gonna create a little viewing area for the guests, and this viewing area will be for both habitats, for the Nile monitors and for the turtles. So I'm creating this little glass roof. I did get a comment about these glass roofs that yeah, it will be very hot in the summer, but then again, it is the Netherlands, so like 90% of the time it won't be too hot. So this will be the viewing areas for both the habitats. I'm really trying to keep it simple, this little viewing area, this roof. But again, it does fit into this area, so I'm using the same glass pieces as I used for the roof on the reptile house. And so it blends in a little bit better with this area. So that this habitat is not too big, so these animals don't need a lot of space. They actually don't need water at all. I do put some water in, but you will see me doing that later. I will use the same barriers, so the glass barriers will be all over the place in this area. So that's also why I didn't want to split it into 2 or 3 episodes, because I'm basically doing the same thing all over the place. I really like the look of this habitat, by the way, in the end. It's really small, it's really nice, and the foliage and the rocks just look really good. So I did do some terrain work here, and I'm creating the shelter space for the turtles, so they will have a nice spot to lay down underneath this little rock roof, putting down the null barriers so I can put the animal in. Wow, it's already there. And I put the terrain down a little bit too much. It looked a bit weird, so fixing that, putting some water in, and making it a little bit bigger, make it look a little bit better. Then I will do the terrain work. I always open up the menu for the animal needs and then do the terrain work, because it will adjust itself while you're doing it, so you can exactly see what you're doing and what the animal needs are. So I'm doing that right now with a little bit of long grass, a little bit of sand, basically everything that the animal needs. And then I found out somehow these animals can escape there. I have no clue how, but I will put a rock in there so they can't escape anymore. Fixing the barriers, and then I will start with some rocks, blending in this viewing area. Again, these animals can't really climb, so it's not that difficult to create some natural barriers for them. And they actually can't swim also, so this water area will prevent them from escaping as well. I really like these little ferns, plants. I like the look of it with these animals, just some smaller animals with some smaller plants. It really looks cool in the end. But some more trees, and I do find out that these foliage needs are not too high, so I'm fixing this barrier right now. So everything that is outside this barrier, it won't count towards the foliage needs of the animal, so I can use a little bit more foliage outside of the habitat. So I'm doing the terrain work again, trying to blend in the rocks a little bit better, checking on what the animal needs are, and then it was perfect. I will make sure they can eat, have some place to sleep, some enrichment items, and again some heaters. And then this habitat is basically finished already. Trying to fix this terrain a little bit, but you can't adjust the terrain when the gate is there somehow. I don't know why, but I fixed that. So then I'm starting on the Nile monitor habitat. Yes, this is quite a fast and little episode. I'm building basically 3 habitats in 15 minutes, so that's it might be a record, but anyway. So yeah, I will basically do the same thing. Over here again, glass barriers, the terrain work, fixing the path a little bit, because otherwise I thought the habitat would be a little bit too small. And one thing I wanted to talk about is that I did get a comment, and I was, I'm not sure, triggered, I think, that they challenged me to create a zoo which will have all the animals in the game, which are quite a lot of animals. I already made like an Excel sheet on where I want to put all the animals and stuff, and I would like to do it in this zoo because it's even a bigger challenge if you do it in franchise. So I would like to hear your opinion about that, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see all the animals in the game in Veluwe Zoo, or we just stick with like 2 or 3 more areas and that's it. But we can also decide that later, of course. It also depends on how the game will run, because I didn't really keep in mind all the piece count. I do know that I didn't create like custom roofs and stuff like that, but maybe in the end it will start lagging, but we will see. I really want to try that, and but it doesn't feel like a challenge if you do it in a sandbox. It's really easy, because you don't need all the staff buildings near. You can just, you know, switch off every animal needs and stuff like that. So that's not really a challenge, but I did like the idea of doing that. So please let me know down in the comments what you would like to do with that idea. So I'm basically, for the rest of this episode, I will finish up this little habitat. I will do the making sure there's enough education, staff benches, all those kind of things basically. And in the end we will have some cinematics, of course, so make sure you stick to the end. And that will be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't do it already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will speak to you guys in the next episode of Veluwe Zoo. Goodbye.